the real persistency happens behind the scenes.
Yep.
All of that. You're seeing 90 minutes on the soccer field, but to be able to perform in that 90 minutes is like endless amount of hours and hours and hours to hone those skills and to be able to play at the ultimate stage, right? And that's the thing that I would say a lot of people in business, they don't see. They don't understand what it takes behind the scenes. They'll take a look at successful companies or individuals and be like, man, they were just lucky.
Yeah,
nothing to do with luck.
And that's something I would like to ask, because in the two definitions you guys talked about, well, you talked about traits of successful people, and then Edmundo gave this comparison where success is not a place, it's a journey. What's the right way that people can, let's say, measure? How can I measure if I'm not on the journey of success or if I am there? Because, okay, you mentioned consistency, you mentioned networking. Like, how do I measure that? Me as a young person, how can I know if I'm on the right path or the wrong path? Like, what advice would you give to that?
Well, I would say that first and foremost, there's an endless amount of investing in yourself. So any successful person will tell you that they're constantly investing in themselves. What does that mean? They're investing in themselves. You hear a guy like Warren Buffett say, I wake up in the morning and I'm reading for hours on end. Well, you take a look at a guy like that and you're like, why does a billionaire continue to do that? That's the consistency part of it. So everyone's journey is different, and how long it takes to get to that destination varies from individual to individual. But what I can say is, you're on the right path when you're consistently not only taking action, but when you're consistently investing in yourself and consistently educating yourself. You continue to do that, you're going to network with the right people. You've got to be part of like clubs. You have to be part of like a membership. You need to surround yourself with people that have done it. I think early on in my life, I was fortunate that I had that. It was more by sheer coincidence. I was surrounded by very successful people. So anytime I made an error, it was pretty easy for me to say, it's not a failure, because I knew, all right, here are the adjustments that I need to make, because I saw the people that were like next level, and I took a look at that and I emulated their actions. So failure for me was never really that average definition that I'm telling you, which is like quitting. It was, okay, I did this and here's the lesson that I learned, and how do I improve this or make it better? So I would say, the question that you ask really comes down to, you got to keep educating yourself. You got to keep investing in yourself. There is no one thing that you do that is going to lead you to the top of the mountain.
So you would say that a person, because there is some economically successful people that now they think they know everything. You think someone like that is already failing?
So here's the thing, right? I think that if they're saying that on a podcast,
they're probably not saying it, but you can tell there's some people.
There's no question that there's an arrogance that some people develop. Yeah. But I bet you deep down inside, if you speak to that person off camera, heart to heart, one-on-one, they'll tell you that there's still a lot for them to learn. They won't tell you that they know it all. They have figured that out. And you know that because if you take a look at those individuals, no matter what happens in the market or the economy, they're evolving. Well, if you think you know it all, you're not going to make the right moves and evolve. So it tells you that they understand you've got to continue to adapt. Otherwise, you're going to fall with the times. Look, I'll mention two companies that I'm sure you guys have heard of in the United States, Sears and Walmart. Okay. Sears was a very successful company. Walmart came along, never reinvented the wheel. They pretty much emulated the Sears model. Now, Walmart continues to be a mega conglomerate, a mega power, right? Well, what happened to Sears in the United States? They've all but disappeared.
Yeah, they're bankrupt.
They've all but disappeared. Exactly. So if you ask the children of Sam Walton, what's the difference between you guys and what happened with Sears, that they would tell you they continue to evolve with the times. They evolve their models. They continue to learn. They did not definitely come from a place of, I know it all, we're already successful. That's probably even more dangerous than not making it yet. Because once you're up there, your responsibilities are, 100 times bigger than when you have nothing. When you have nothing to lose.